This episode of Unqualified is brought to you by State Farm, who has surprisingly great rates for your auto insurance. In 1999, my mom recorded me in our family room, delivering the lines for what I thought was a horror movie. My mom read the other roles, and I thought she gave a much better performance than I did. There was even a moment when I seriously considered not sending the tape because that would require a trip to the post office and an entire day's salary for postage. Not that I had a paying job. I was surprised when I received a phone call asking if I could audition in person. Then I realized that the casting director must have mixed up my tape with someone else's. I could have pointed out the error, but I'd never been to LA and wanted to go. So my parents gave me airline miles, and I flew to Los Angeles, Burbank actually, where I auditioned every day for a week and slept on 3 different couches. At the week's end, my friend with the least comfortable couch offered to drive me to the airport, and because at the time it was hard to find good Mexican food in Washington State, I wanted one last burrito. My pager began buzzing just as our nachos arrived. There was a payphone in the back of the restaurant, and when I returned the page, I was told that I got the role. It was one of the biggest surprises of my life. I was also surprised to learn that Scary Movie was actually a comedy. This was after my audition. Speaking of nice surprises, State Farm provides coverage that meets your needs at a surprisingly great rate. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
This was the most awkward start of the show.
Yeah, because
we started and stopped it like 4 times. We've never done that.
But you had such a down note. You were like, "Hey, Anna."
I couldn't get the printer.
Like you sound incredibly depressed to be sitting here in my dressing room. I always love seeing you, but I'm also annoyed that you're here.
Are you really annoyed that I'm here? You say that a lot.
No. Actually, I was really looking forward to you being here.
You.
Yes,
I know you're not annoyed.
No. I always love seeing you. Yes. Like it's one of those wonderful things where your stress level makes me feel more calm. It's wonderful.
I'm glad I could be of service. Appreciate that. I don't know if I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not.
Amy, does he do the same for you?
Hi, Amy. Amy's here too.
Hi, everyone.
And guess what? Amy's still pregnant.
Still pregnant. Overdue, in fact. But I've been told that I'm going to be induced next week. So actually, by the time this airs, I'll probably be in labor.
Okay, so would you be jarred if I suddenly pop up in between your legs?
That would be fantastic. That would actually be fantastic. I would laugh. That would distract. That'd be very distracting.
Are you sure?
I mean, I don't know if you want to do that. But.
Oh, I totally want to do it. But I just don't know. I think at that point you might be really annoyed. We'll give it a whirl. Okay, Sim.
Can we get some
I feel
feedback?
Your anxiety. Yes.
Well, my anxiety is because we don't have a baby yet.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think our listeners could understand where I'm coming from here. But anyways, I'm fine now.
Did you say your researchers are coming?
Our listeners. Researchers?
I don't know. That's what I thought you said because I don't listen all that well.
We got some feedback from the Constance episode from last week from Simone in Portland. Her subject was Sim nailed it. This is why I'm reading it, by the way. I didn't have time to read all of the feedback because of what's happening right now, but I did see the subject line saying Sim nailed it, so I figured I'd read that one. And this was concerning Holly, who moved to Portland, and she was dealing with her ex-boyfriend, and you remember that one, right? I'll just read it. Hey, Anna. Hey, Sim. Love the podcast. You two crack me up every week. I just got done listening to the episode with Constance Zimmer, and I have some feedback about the advice that Anna gave to Holly, who moved to Portland and was dealing with her ex-boyfriend.
Uh-oh.
I have to say, Sim nailed it.
Shoot.
Holly is not into her ex, and she's not being clear about it. I think one thing Anna does really well is protect/give the female perspective the benefit of the doubt. I really respect that, and I think the world would be a better place if more people practice that. But sometimes that means missing out on a legitimate male perspective. Sim kept chiming in with the fact that Holly wasn't actually into her ex. Exactly right. From his perspective, she is a self-proclaimed commitment phobe who left her boyfriend for no other reason than she was moving to a new city. But nothing other than that was wrong. She is also the one who is keeping in touch with him from a distance and texting all the time like they are together, possibly because she needs a familiar comfort while she adjusts to a new city. She's also the one who hasn't mentioned that she is seeing other people. Neither of them are being manipulative on purpose, but if responsibility has to be assigned, it's been her responsibility to tell him the truth about where he stands in her life. I really don't blame him for thinking she's still into him. All the signs she sent since leaving have been foggy at best. On another note, I'm obsessed with your Deal Breakers game, and I've been playing with my friends. I think you guys should write a deck of Deal Breaker cards and sell them as merch. I'd be all over that. Thanks so much for the laughs, Simone.
Simone, thank you so much. And thank you also for listening, and thank you for your feedback.
And thank you for saying that I was right.
So maybe fuck you, Simone. I mean, even though I love you.
a lot of validation today.
I needed some validation.
No, but it's true that I know that we work hard at trying to protect our listener, whatever. But it means a lot to always have additional perspective, and sometimes I think you and I, Sim, we haven't really acknowledged this, but we do sometimes fall into a little bit of good cop, bad cop.
I know a few people have acknowledged that over email. I think that's good though. I think it's good because I feel like you're just inherently a kinder person than me.
I think we're both equally cruel and kind.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by The Pill Club. Do you need to renew your birth control prescription? Want to switch your birth control? Maybe try it for the first time. Whether you know the brand you want or you're looking for help finding the best option, the Pill Club medical team has your back. With the Pill Club, you'll never have to make a trip to the doctor or wait in line at the pharmacy. The Pill Club is a birth control subscription prescribed by a medical professional and delivered straight to your door for free in discreet packaging. The Pill Club carries over 120 FDA-approved brands. Most brands of birth control are free with insurance or Medicaid. Otherwise, prices start as low as $7 per month without insurance. Right now, when you go to thepillclub.com/unqualified, the Pill Club is offering a $10 donation to bedsider.org for every unqualified listener who becomes a patient. Your donation will help low-income individuals get access to birth control through bedsider.org. That's thepillclub.com/unqualified to get your first birth control care package. That's thepillclub.com/unqualified to get your first birth control care package and donate to help more women in need of affordable birth control. Remember, thepillclub.com/unqualified. You must use the link to make a donation.
She was so cute.
This episode is brought to you in part by Plant Botanical. As everyone slowly comes out of hiding, many of you are asking the same questions. Am I ready for actual human contact? Should I swipe right? Will they look like their picture? Do I look like my picture? Is that the face of an axe murderer? Do I really want to take off these sweats? And for those of you who get that far, what drink should I be casually sipping? I have the answer to that one. While your date sits awkwardly silent, stunned by your good looks, dazzled by your intellect, or wondering how to dispose of your body, the drink in your hand should be delicious, refreshing, crisp, clean, Plant Botanical Vodka Seltzer. Weighing in at only 1 carb, made with real fruit and botanicals traditionally used for stamina, immunity, and detox, Plant Botanical is already thinking about your future encounters. Follow and DM @PlantLovesYou and share a story or video of your funniest, wildest, or most awkward date for a chance to win up to $1,000 for your next one. Plant Botanical, your perfect companion while you look for your perfect companion. Available at Target, Pavilions, Vons, Total Wine, or visit plantlovesyou.com to find a store near you. Plant Vodka and Vodka Seltzer. Just the good shit.
What'd they do back in the old times? What'd they do back in the day? Like in the early days of television, 21 was sponsored by Geritol. So I was like, they had like one sponsor cover everything. I said, maybe we could reach out to a sponsor and see if they'll sponsor the podcast. And I remember Scott Mosier, the guy I've been doing podcasts with for 11 years, he was just like, I don't think we can reach out to Pampers and Wonder Bread with the shit we talk about. I was like, I don't think we have to reach out to them. But I remembered there was a Zach and Miri Mega Pornos movie we made a few years ago. There was a Fleshlight joke in the movie. Like, I think the earliest Fleshlight joke in a motion picture. That's my fucking bragging rights right there. So because of that joke, after the movie come out, I get a letter from the guy who runs Fleshlight, and he's like, we thought it was amazing you talked about the product and shit. If you ever want to do a Zach and Miri branded Fleshlight, like, let us know. And I thought that was brilliant, and I gave it to the people who made the movie, but they didn't follow through and stuff. So I always had that letter because it was a fun talking point, like, oh my God, the male fuck toy people reached out.
So wait, Sim,
Yes.
you need to thank Kevin for getting laid, essentially.
The Fleshlight.
Well, I mean, the Fleshlight's a great training tool.
Yes. And let me tell you something. Fleshlight came in handy. When I was introduced to the Fleshlight, by virtue of the fact that we reached out to them and they were like, hey, we'll fucking give you money for your podcast. Like, and that covered our server costs. They sent us a box of product. And so at that point, it had always been theoretical. Like, my wife has had a vibrator for like ever. And I never had anything on my nightstand. And suddenly they sent me a box of something. And I was like, the war is on. Like, we're going to have a
A
détente.
box of what?
Fuck toys. Sorry. Fuck toys.
Yes, but
It basically,
what kind of fuck toys? So you had like a silicone vagina.
I didn't. They sent them to me. You make it sound like I was seeking it out. This is
Listen,
just shoved up on
no,
my door.
I feel like they're very generous.
They were. They gave me 9. And I really only needed 1. So they sent them, I think, just to be like, hey, you can pull them out, you can talk about
I
them
like
and
to
stuff.
imagine, though, that each one was a different character.
There was. Ones were built into beer cans. They all look like something else, right? It's like a transformer, but you fuck it. And so it looks like a can of beer, and then you open it, and then there's all this horrible things inside to insert yourself into. So before we did our first ad for it, I was like, I guess we should, like, I can't reasonably fucking tell people to buy this if I haven't tried it. So we tried it, and not together. Me and my producer, Scott Mosier, he's my co-host.
You guys
on that
tried it
show.
together.
He tried it separately. I tried it. We've never done it in the same room, but,
Oh, man.
we have been doing the podcast 11 years. If we get to 20 years, we will do it in the same room.
It's sort
It's
of
an
my
anniversary
fantasy.
episode.
Oh, can I be there for it?
If you want to watch that,
I
Anna
would
Faris,
love
you
it.
are more than
I
welcome.
would-
But you've
I
never
would love
seen middle-aged, over-the-hill men fucking rubber before. It'll change you.
No.
In a
no, it
horrible
won't.
way.
No.
You think you want to see it.
Oh,
it's just like whenever
yeah.
somebody says, did you ever see a beheading on the internet? And you're like, no. And then they fucking show you without asking if you want to see it. And then you're changed forever.
I just want to see like the competitive element to it.
Oh, you think I'd be in a race?
Yeah.
No, I'm the turtle, slow and steady, man.
Yeah?
Like, I'm doing this on my
So
terms.
we all
My
have
whole
to-
career
we
has
have
been
to
on my
wait
terms.
for
You think I'm going
you-
to fuck on Scott Mosier's terms when it comes to fucking a Fleshlight? No way. The competition dies. I'm not very competitive. Are you competitive? Is that how you get your own fucking dressing room on the Warner Brothers lot? Kids, just to lay it out for you and shit. My God. I walked in, there's a whole fucking cake. They're like, here, for you, Anna Faris, because you're so special. So this is amazing. Is this what it looks like, man? This is dope. You get to live here while the show's going on?
Oh yeah.
Does that mean the show's doing well? Like, do all the rooms look like
well,
this?
I got to tell you, I stole this dressing room
From
from
Janie?
our director.
A director had this room?
Yeah.
They don't need it. They should be on set at all times.
Exactly. Yeah.
I say that as a guy who,
Yeah.
from time to
Thank
time
you.
has been known to
I
quote unquote.
just wanted the
direct.
window. Yeah,
Exactly.
I needed a little like optimism.
And it's on the second floor,
yeah.
which is like beneficial.
Oh, completely.
This is just to build you a word picture. It's bigger than where you fucking live. I'm telling you right now, whoever's listening to this, I don't care who you are. It's fucking massive. So this is where you are when you're not pretending to be.
I've got a
somebody else.
working toilet
That
right
works.
over there. I've got a window. I've got these weird posters, and we get the leftovers from craft services.
Is that where that cake came from? You're not telling me on leftovers.
Totally.
Bullshit. That's
What?
your special actress cake. I've seen those before. I've given those before. That's what that is. That's just like, you know how we
It's
keep her
just
on the
for
same
you.
page with us? Give her a cake every day.
Can we get back to the masturbating thing for just a second?
Totally, man. I would not compete is all I'm saying. And not because I'm like, I'm so good, I don't need to compete. Like, if I'm competing, that means I'm going fast. If I'm going fast, even at the weight I am now, I've recently lost 50 pounds, you would see undulating flesh going back and forth. I'd probably get pegged in the eye by one of my flat tits. So at that point, I ain't competing at all.
Okay, but wait, would there be group viewing of like porn or individual like mags?
Do you
or-
assume that I'm the kind of person that needs that to get started?
I do.
The Fleshlight is, I think, exciting enough, to be honest with you. It's just transgressive enough that, I mean, well, this goes into untoward territory, but I throw it out to all women in general. You don't have to, you can just dive into a vibrator, right? It's not like, I need to light a few candles and romance myself.
No, it's not that. Well, for me, it's not. I don't mean to speak for my entire gender.
Step up, speak for them all.
I like a little literature.
So now when you say literature, is that words?
Yeah.
Or you like to look at magazines or
No.
magazines?
I like stories.
So you'll read like an Anna East Nin thing and be like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Sounds like a dentist's office in there.
Yeah.
I don't really need, that much. Just even the thought of like, oh, I might orgasm. This is exciting. And bing, things stand at attention.
Still?
Yeah, 48. And it still worked. And coming off of almost dying. 7 months ago, I had a heart attack. So,
I know. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, I'm not. It changed my life. I lost a bunch of weight. I'm still alive. It teaches you. It's like the third act of Scrooge. Suddenly you're like, everything's a blessing, and shit like that. So it was great. It totally worked out. And it wasn't even painful. So it wasn't even like I was like, oh my God, I was in agony. And then I changed my life. I just thought I couldn't catch my breath. Whole time. When I got to the hospital, the doctor was like, no, I'm Mark Ladenheim. Nice to meet you. I said, hey man, how are you? He goes, what's the problem? I said, I can't quite catch my breath. He goes, okay, well, pain level, scale of 0 to 10. Where are you? I said, -3. He goes, well, you're doing this all wrong. I said, what do you mean? He goes, if you're in the middle of a massive heart attack, you should be in a lot of pain. I said, well, I'm not in the middle of a massive heart attack. He goes, you are. They didn't tell you? He's like, they waited for me to tell you. You're in the middle of a massive heart attack. He's like, I could get you upstairs because if it's what I think it is, we got to move fast. So
Is that when did you feel a surge of panic? I mean,
no, because I was baked
you were
off
in the
my
middle.
ass.
Oh, good. Okay.
I was shooting in the middle of shooting 2 comedy specials. We were supposed to shoot 2 specials that night that were going to turn into a Showtime special, which is already up and running. You watch it on Showtime now. It's called Silent but Deadly.
I love it that you're plugging.
Before I have to. I was the title before I knew I was having the heart attack. So it was Silent but Deadly is what we were calling it because I played Silent Bob once. So in the middle of 2 shows, we had a break. I was supposed to do an hour break, then do another hour. I did 2 hours because I was just on a roll. And then we were going to take a break and do the second show. And then they cut all that together into one show. That's pretty much how they do comedy specials. So after the first show, I couldn't catch my breath. Like I was sitting there going like, I could breathe, but I can't go all the way up, ring the bell, and come back down. This is weird. And I started sweating, but I sweat when I fucking breathe, so that didn't mean anything to me. And then I started getting cold. Then I chased people out of the green room because I felt like I was going to get sick. And like, I'm like an animal when I get sick. I just want to go off to the woods and fucking die by myself. So I was like, everyone, can you guys get out? Laid on the floor, threw up, and I never threw up. It wasn't chunky. It was just bile. But I was like, that's fucking weird. I never throw up. So I looked for a couch to lay down on. I was like, I need a couch, I think. And I couldn't get comfortable and shit. I was turning left and right. Could not catch my breath. So I stood up, you self-diagnose in moments like that. You're like, I'm a doctor. I know what I should do. And I sat in a chair and put my hands over my head because I was like, this will facilitate breathing. So I'm sitting in the chair with my arms over my head. Shit. Look like I'm celebrating a touchdown. And then Jordan Monsanto, her name is, Jason Muse's wife. She runs our company. She was there and she's like, I canceled the second show. I was like, why the fuck would you do that? She's like, I've never seen you be sick and this is really scary. I've never seen this before. And I was like, well, I really don't feel well. I would honestly, like, I'm okay that you cancel. I know we did 2 hours, so we can cut an hour out of that, right? She's like, don't worry about the special. She's going, but this is scary. I was like, all right, maybe I should go to a doctor. And she says, it's Sunday night, they're all closed. So I called an ambulance. I said, what the fuck did you do that for? You're going to find out I was just too high. This is going to be embarrassing. Fucking turn that around. She's like, I can't. They're here. And when you call an ambulance, the fire department comes. God knoweth why. 6 fucking brawny ass firemen came in, man. And some of them were young enough to be like, oh shit, Silent Bob. Why is he celebrating a touchdown? So they came in. I was like, hey. And then they said, we're here because somebody's in the middle of an episode. I said, yeah, somebody else called for y'all. And then the medics come in. Guy and a girl and stuff. Bobsy twins. She got like this kit and he's got the cuff. And they're like, hey.
They're probably asking you like, are you on anything, sir?
No. First thing they asked me, they go, what's your name? I said, Kevin Smith. And they're like, okay, Mr. Smith, we need to know. I said, hey, Mr. Smith's my father. They're like, we've heard that joke before. We're rushing here. We need to know what's going on with you. I said, I can't breathe. I said, I could breathe, but I can't go up all the way. My breath is shallow. Feels weird. And I've been sweating, but I sweat when I breathe and blah, blah, blah. So the dude's cuffing me up and doing that. And the lady is opening up this kit.
The image of cuffing, whatever. Okay.
He was cuffing me up doing the blood pressure.
Like the idea of you being arrested while you're having a heart attack.
Yeah. They would put your hands behind your back. They read me my rights. So the lady, she opens up her tackle box, got a bunch of wires in it. It looks very medical. Without even asking me, she yanks my fucking top up. And, I was 256 at that point. Every titty I had fell out onto the floor. I was like, whoa! And I yanked my shirt down. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, we got to put stuff on you. We got to put these leads on you. I was like, I don't lift up my shirt ever. I said, I've been married nearly 20 years. I still haven't taken my fucking shirt off. I said, please never do that again. She goes, well, how am I going to get this on you? I said, I will hold the shirt up open. You reach up under it and shit. Use my nipples as like, landmines or whatever, landmarks. And then you could do it that way. And she looks at the guy and the guy's just like, he goes like this because he's like, we're not going to get anywhere with this guy. So she reaches up and starts doing that. He's reading my blood pressure and he goes, Kev, do me a favor, open your mouth. And I said, all right. And I did. And he goes, I'm going to put something in it. Lift your tongue. And I did. And he sprays some shit in my mouth. And he goes, close your mouth. And I did it. And then he went back to work. And I remember thinking like, so fucking weird. It's against everything my parents ever taught me in life. Like if a stranger comes to you and says, open your mouth, I'm going to put something in it. You say fucking no. But he was wearing a uniform. So I would have put anything in my mouth at that point. I was like, ah. So then all of a sudden he goes, you know what? We're going to take you to the hospital. And I said, please don't do that. This is fucking embarrassing, dude. I smoked 3 joints earlier today. I smoked 1 big fat one before I got on stage. That's all this is. I promise you. And he goes, nah, we're close. We're real close to the hospital. So better safe than sorry. Let's just check in. Are you cool with that? I was like, I guess. He goes, you ever been to the hospital before? I said, I've visited people and shit. He goes, well, you never been in? I said, no. And he goes, oh, you're going to have a good time. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, we'll let you do the siren. I said, all right. So they bring me out the back of the club, right?
And did you got to do the siren?
I did. They bring me out the back. There's a crowd of people who were ready to go to the second show who were told he's not doing a second show. And they didn't tell him why because nobody knew. All they knew was I threw up. So the word that they said was he's got food poisoning. So as I was being wheeled out, like in the fucking chair to the ambulance, there's the whole crowd for the second show. And they're like, woo, go get him, Kev, and shit like that. And I see one guy going like this. He's making that universal, finger into the throat.
Yeah,
thing. Well, I didn't know what it meant. I was like, are you fucking telling me to suck your dick as I get put in an ambulance, you rude piece of shit? But it was a guy going, I heard you were sick. You're like food poisoning. I didn't hear that part of the story and shit. So I get to the hospital. The fucking doctor's just like, you're having a heart attack. I had no fucking clue at that point, man. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He's going, this is what a heart attack feels like.
I'm scared as you're recounting this story.
I lived through it.
Hysterical. But man, it's hard to like.
So to me, I was
laugh.
I mean,
it's
so
it's
level
like,
the whole time.
I mean, you're delivering it in a hysterical way, but man, I'm scared.
Don't be.
Okay, wait. A couple of questions though.
Yeah.
I know that you've had, and I don't want to get too much into this because we've got a bit to do. But
is there an agenda? Do I see paper over there?
Yep.
Is that how you conduct yourselves on podcasts?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys come prepared. I see.
But did it change your sort of spiritual view?
Not really, because I was always a fairly spiritual cat. It didn't make me go, oh shit, these are the things that are important in life. I always knew that. It didn't hit me on that level. It did remind me how fucking mortal I am. And I don't know if it's this case with you, but those of us that like wind up in the business of show, get paid to make pretend for a living. Since you're being paid essentially to act in a childish way, not to be a child or be childish, but you're getting paid to do something kids do for fucking free. So as an adult, when you look at that on the scale of things one could get paid to do, acting, making movies, all this shit, that's getting paid to make pretend. You're already way ahead of the rest of the world at that point and shit. Like you cracked the code, you won the lottery, it's all fucking good. But even with that, man, like it's possible to keep the level head of knowing like shit, all this, I'm already breathing rarefied air. This is fucking awesome. I was always fairly together. I had a good head on my shoulders. Although I was a Catholic up until like I was 29. But I've always had a pretty strong spiritual center. When I was dying on the table, because the doctor tells me when I get up into the
doctor
OR,
tells you while you're having a heart attack that you're dying. Hey man, I like your movies.
He was
you're
awesome.
Dying.
Oh my God, I love this guy. He saved my life. He was just on the phone today. He called me about my blood work. He's like, we got your blood work. It's all great, man. He went through all my triglycerides and all that shit. And then he goes, hey, man, if I invited you over for dinner, would you come over? I said, fuck yeah, man, absolutely. Invite me and the wife over. We'll be there in a heartbeat. He said, all right. And I hung up. My wife goes, did you just invite us to somebody's house for dinner? I said, that motherfucker saved my life. I'll eat out his ass if he asks me to. Of course I'm going to go over his house. So when I was on the table in the OR and shit, Dr. Leidenheim, he goes...
Dr. Leidenheim.
That's his
hey,
name.
shout out.
Shout out to Dr. Leidenheim. You guys saved my life. I mean, if I was like, I was in Gotham and somebody was about to shoot me and fucking Batman saved my life. Do you know how often I'd reference Batman? I'd be like, shout out to Batman. I'd be telling that story like crazy. This guy is the Dr. Batman. He saved my life in the Gotham of my corroded fucking heart.
God, there should be an evil doctor that like
Dr. Giggles?
Oh.
That was an old movie.
Oh, all right. Anyway, moving on. Sorry. Go back.
All right, so I'm laying on the table.
I want to be an evil doctor at some point.
Dr. Leidenheim, not evil, so good at what he does. He pops up. He goes, okay, I got to go up through your groin, through your femoral artery, into the heart. He's going, I want to check that out. He did that, and I was on fentanyl. I didn't know. I thought I was just blazed, but they put me on a fentanyl fucking drip. When they brought me out of the operation, my wife was there, and she was all upset. And she's like, are you all right? I was like, if that's a fucking heart attack, give me 9 more. That was easy. And she goes, what, are you on drugs? And I said, no, they didn't give me nothing. I was sober for that whole fucking thing. And the doctor's right behind me go, he's way hopped up on fentanyl right now. So while I was laying there, he goes, oh, it's what I thought. You're 100% occluded in your LAD. I said, what does that mean? He goes, you've got 100% blockage in the main artery that comes across the front of your heart. He's going, so what we have to do is open that up. We're going to have to put a stent in you. You know what that is? I said, yeah, my mom's got a stent in her heart. It's a little tiny pencil lead thing that is made of wire mesh. They stick it in your artery and open it up. Because my artery was all clogged by a bunch of gross shit that I've eaten since I was a child. So he's like, we're going to do that. And he goes, you know what a stent is? I said, yeah, my mom's got a stent in her heart. And he goes, oh, do you have a history of heart problems in your family? I said, no, my mom's got a stent. That's all. Plus my dad died of a massive heart attack at age 67. So he was like, we got to go fucking fast. He goes, but before we dive into this, Kev, he goes, I know you like comic books. I said, I do. He goes, you know what they call that artery runs across the front of your heart? I said, no. He goes, it's called the Widowmaker. I said, why? And he goes, because in 80% of the cases of 100% occlusion, the patient always dies. He's going, but you're going to be in the 20%.
I wonder that you asked why.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was curious and I was baked. I said, why? And he told me, and he goes, but you're going to be in the 20% because I'm good at my job. And then he disappeared into my crotch like the white rabbit and fucking just made magic. And the whole time I was laying on the table, I went through a series of things. I wasn't sitting there. I wasn't angry. I wasn't fucking like, I certainly didn't beg God for forgiveness or to extend my life. I figured I made dogma. God would be like, go fuck yourself. So I didn't waste time with any of that stuff. Plus it seemed like presuming on a friendship. Imaginary one, but a friendship nonetheless. Like, fucking save me. That's what I thought about. I was like, you've had so much. Like, yeah, you're 47. I was 47 when it happened. And I was like, but look at the fucking life you've gone on. You got to do more things than you ever fucking imagined and shit like that. Like, if this is the price you got to pay, like you're going to die early. Yeah, it's early. You thought you'd live much longer than this. But if this is the price you pay, like, punch ticket and fucking go home, man. Like, pay Sharon, get on a fucking boat and cross the sticks. Don't be a bitch who hangs out, digging his claws into the fucking ground, go, no, I want to stay. And I always assumed I'd be that guy. I'm terrified of fucking dying. I'm not brave at all. No courage, all cowardice and shit. But the notion of being told point blank, you got a 20% chance of dying in the next hour if I fuck this up, and an 80% chance of fucking being dead when this is all over. Suddenly I was going like, well, you've lived your whole life with your head up your ass, staring at yourself, navel gazing and whatnot. This is it. You may not get the chance after this and shit like that. What are your closing thoughts? So I sat there thinking about the last 47 years. And I was just grateful. That was it. The whole time I was just like, oh my God, what are the chances? Like, I thought about my parents a lot because I was like, you could really fuck up a kid. I'm a parent now, and I know how easy it is to fuck up a kid and shit. My parents didn't know shit about shit when they started having kids, right? They had 2 before me, my brother and sister. And I was like the late in life kid. Like, my mom miscarried before and after me and stuff. Wasn't quite the cocktail baby. But by the time I came around, they were like, we've done it once or twice. We still don't know what we're doing. They got laissez-faire and shit like that. Like, I was the one they let play with dynamite and shit like that. So, I was like, God, they did a great job. And they never made me do anything. Never made me like fit into some fucking box after high school. Like, you got to go to college like your brother and sister. You got to normie it up, sheep it up or anything. They just kind of let me develop at my own speed. And when I was like, I want to make a movie, which at that point I might as well have said, like, I want to be an astronaut. That seemed more likely than what I was fucking proposing. Never once were either of them like, are you fucking dumb or something? We don't live in that world. They were just like, all right, well, figure it out. We'll be here if you need help. They lent me money, which was so weird because we were broke. We were like almost a welfare family and shit. But my mom found like $3,000 that they put up the house for so I could like rent the camera package to make the movie.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Best Fiends. We all know there really is only one match 3 style game worth playing. It's the one with an actual storyline, cool collectible characters, and non-stop action-packed adventure. It's the one with literally thousands of challenging puzzles to solve. And yes, I'm using the word literally correctly. Of course, I'm talking about Best Fiends. You meet your best fiends early in their careers. They don't have much experience, but they have heart. I recognized a little piece of myself in each of them. And so I began to assemble the perfect team. I watched them grow as we solved puzzle after puzzle, working hard and playing hard. Today, my best fiends are ready to go anytime and anywhere. I'm really proud of what they have become. With new challenges and levels added all the time, there's never a boring moment. So download Best Fiends free today on the App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Intuit, powering products like TurboTax, QuickBooks, Mint, and Credit Karma. Intuit works for what you work for, and it was only recently that I found out they were working for me. I've been using QuickBooks for years and more recently began using Mint, which is an easy way to create monthly budgets. It was a bit surprising to realize how much I could save by learning how to make coffee. With Intuit, artificial intelligence can predict your future cash flow, recognize a misplaced digit in an account or routing number, and even connect users with live experts who can assist with navigating life changes or help with unique tax situations. Everything is automatically organized as you track your personal or business expenses by scanning receipts, invoices, and other financial documents, while smart budgeting tools let you know before you overspend. Innovative features like these make managing your finances simple, but as you probably already knew, innovation is at the core of everything Intuit does. Discover how Intuit's products can help you see what's possible at intuit.com. That's INTUIT.com.
Do you give good gifts?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I think of myself as a great gift giver, and then every once in a while you realize you live with your head so far up your ass doing your own things, making shit, that you forgot people's birthdays and major occasions.
Oh,
and
fuck
shit
yes.
like that.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes, sweet Michael Sherman over there knows that.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
He's
I don't
He's
remember
like, fuck
anything.
yeah, she's thoughtless.
It's never been my strong suit, but definitely like the last 10 years, because I think partly because I'm not sentimental in that way.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck others.
Well, no. No, but it's sort of like I like spontaneous gratitude.
Right. Well, as long as you, like, if you give Michael 12 major gifts one gift a month, and then the fucking birthday's not a big deal, right? Because you're like, she's always showering me shit. Is that the way it is?
Yeah.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. He's like, I had to get this cake myself, Kev.
Yeah.
As long as you're over giving in other areas, I feel like if you forget a birthday, fuck you, but still you're a little bit covered. I once had somebody say, very famous person, say to me about somebody unrelated. They were like, I think if you want people to know it's your birthday, you should tell them. You should have to inform them.
Fuck yes.
Really?
Oh,
you agree
yeah.
with that person? Because that was one of the most repugnant thoughts I'd ever heard in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is that? You got to tell people it's your birthday?
God, yes. If it's important to you, yes.
Oh.
Yes. Because for me, like, my birthday is November 29th. It's right after Thanksgiving. It's never been like everyone's tired. Even like when I was in third grade, whatever. It's like I grew up north of Seattle, so it was always gloomy.
Where north of Seattle? Like Olympia? Where?
Edmonds.
The fuck out of here. I've been there.
You have?
I know the area. I know Washington quite a bit. But anyway, back to your story. I hate to.
No. No. It's we'll get into Edmonds talk later. But no, anyway, it's a
lot of fucking empty promises with you. You've told me a lot of things we can get into later, and I happen to know for a fact they're gonna drag your ass into that set any minute. So quit lying to me, lady.
But no, I just don't. I like to prepare myself for disappointment.
Okay, so you've had this fabulous life where you're fucking famous. You've been in movies, you're on TV and shit like that. You know you're in like the fucking, not the 1%, but the 1% of the 1%.
I feel like
So here's the continuation, the actual question part. That was the setup. Here's the second part. Ready?
Okay,
the part with the actual question mark, the quotation, at the end. Punctuation. Here it comes. Do you really need to celebrate your birthday
No.
anymore? Exactly,
Fuck no.
right? Like, I don't fucking
Fuck
celebrate
no.
weekends, birthdays.
No.
Life is one long weekend, and every day is your birthday. There's a fucking cake on the table.
Exactly.
You seem like you got a good head on your shoulders.
I don't,
Not-
but
no.
thank you. I appreciate that.
My bad.
It
I
does-
gave up on shit like that. I'm like, that's for people that don't get to feel special but once or twice a year.
Right.
Every day of my life, somebody somewhere, whether they're total strangers on the internet or real people in real life, I meet and are very nice to me.
Kevin,
and
I
feel
have the
great.
same cynical feeling about weddings.
That was the opposite of cynicism, I think.
No, but about weddings. I don't need a special day.
No.
Like I feel like I want intimacy. Because like most people in our industry, I think, know how to turn on an extroversion element of their personality, but mostly are introverts
Yeah, I would agree.
and egotistical introverts.
Oh, I'd agree there.
Yeah, I mean we have a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I've got 19, so I got you beat. I've been doing it for 11 years. I've got, I think, 6 now at this point. Like, it wasn't enough. I was thinking about it as I drove over here. I was like, she's smart. She's got a podcast. Why do I have 6? Because I just like to hear the sound of my own voice.
Yeah. But and because this is an intimate format though too, that it appeals to that element. And
I started with the intimate format. Like me and Scott Mosier started Smodcast, just 2 dudes in a room, bullshit, whatever we want to talk about and stuff. Same idea here.
and it wasn't like for me, it was shocking that people wanted to listen.
Not me.
I mean,
It wouldn't be shocking to me that people would want to listen to you. You're fucking famous. Like, quit. Come on. Look, act when they're paying you. Don't act in this fucking room. Of course, people be interested in anything you have to fucking say.
That's how fucking naive I was, though. I ordered microphones off Amazon,
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, maybe a few people will listen to this idea,
Right.
and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What the format
your
is.
false modesty is killing me.
It's
right
not.
now.
It's not.
Of
No,
course,
no,
you
no,
knew people
no,
would listen
no,
on
no,
a Faris.
No.
Now, those of us who
now
are
I'm
not
arrogant.
fucking massive stars, when we started a podcast, we didn't know if anyone would
Fuck you,
listen. But
Kevin.
I had an
Fuck you.
audience, so I knew some people
you.
would tune in.
Fuck you, Kevin.
But you
All
know
right.
you
No,
knew
listen,
people were listening.
Listen.
I'm trying.
Now we're gonna get to the heart of the matter.
Oh my
right?
God, the promised
Yeah.
topics. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Okay.
I see you got papers.
Yeah, I got papers, man.
Did you
I got
really need to
fucking
hear?
papers.
I'm not, it's not a competition, just like the Fleshlight wouldn't have been. But like, if someone's like, you're going to interview Anna Faris today, do you know how many papers I'd have in my hand right now?
How many?
None.
Fuck you.
None.
What a dick.
None. I'm just saying.
So wait, what
I'm just
would you-
saying.
what
I've
would
been
you
paying
ask-
attention to your
what would
career.
you ask me?
I would open with, do you remember when we were on that
I was gonna ask
Australian
you that.
talk
Yes.
show together?
What the fuck was that?
That was a guy who's very well known in Australia.
Yes.
But did we do it here or there?
I think we did it here.
We did it here. So I forget the name of the guy. He's great. But when I went over to
He's great.
Australia recently, like I saw him, he's like the fucking, like Jimmy Fallon of fucking Australia. He's on like all the
Then
time.
I think that's the only time we've met or
That was
hung
it.
out.
We were on a show. The guy was doing a version of it here in America. And so me and Anna here were couch guests and whatnot. Yeah, that
You're
was going
sweet
back
to
like
say
a few years ago.
my name correctly, even though that's been our only encounter.
What are the options?
Well, sometimes our
Otto?
podcast guests will say,
Oh, Anna?
Yeah, and I don't have the heart to correct them because
it's more.
my-
It's like
my-
Anna Karenina, right?
It's yes. That's my other career path.
Have you two ever seen a movie called My Favorite Year?
I've heard of them. We haven't seen it.
The kid's modern equivalent is Get 'Em to the Greek. Have you ever seen
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, Get 'Em to the Greek was kind of taken from My Favorite Year, which is this amazing movie about Mark Lynn Baker, I think was the actor's name. He was one of the guys
From
that was
Perfect
on Perfect
Strangers.
Strangers. And Peter O'Toole is the famous movie star who goes to work on a Your Show of Shows type show for 1 week. And so the guy from Mark Lynn has to babysit Peter O'Toole. I think you guys should watch that movie together. I think you would enjoy its dynamic. I think you would sit
Kevin,
there, slowly
do
look
you-
at one another.
Do you know how much time we spend together?
We spent a lot of time together.
I promise you, it enhances your relationship. Number one, it's a great movie to watch, and you're a wonderful actress and you're a comedian, so you should watch this because there are funny performances in it. It's an all-time
God.
great performance by Peter
Dear
O'Toole.
Diary, Kevin Smith is assigning me to watch a movie
Bang.
with
yeah.
Sim.
What did
I'm not
I didn't ask nothing from you. All I ask is you watch a movie. Is that a lot to ask for?
No, you did ask something of me.
What did I say?
You asked me to listen to like a 30-minute monologue of your heart attack, which, granted,
My bad.
there's
You invited me over. I was told to talk.
There's a lot of life lessons.
It was one of these podcasts where people talk, they say. I see, I'd never been on a podcast before. This is my first one. And I came out from New Jersey to be on it. I stayed for a week at the Oakwood Apartments, which are now the Aviva or whatever the fuck, just to prepare myself for this, my very first podcast. And now you're telling me I did it wrong on Faris?
Yeah. I just want you to tell us again, though. What are the life lessons? Tell us what
Number
happened.
one,
The whole
if
thing.
you breathe heavy,
just redo
you
the
could be
whole
having a heart attack.
30-minute
Number two,
monologue.
kids appreciate your
Again.
parents. Number three, your
Don't
sister is
eat
hiding a
Twinkies
book under
or
her
Little
bed.
Debbie's.
Number four, she doesn't need a birthday party
Finkelstein.
or Christmas or a wedding.
He
You heard it
saved
here
your life.
first. Number five, cake every day when you're an actress, motherfuckers. And it's my show and I do the talking. Number six, there's a lot of things.
Get
I
a
learned.
stint. Doesn't matter where you put it.
Yeah, that was very crucial where they put mine, right in the LAD. Saved my life.
Good.
Sorry to take it real there.
No. You actually looked me straight in the eyes when you said that. So I do take that
I was
seriously.
acting. I was just acting.
And someday when I'm on your podcast, I'll be like, Kevin, you were right. I
Do you want to come be on my podcast?
I would love to.
Oh my God, I have no kidding.
I'm gonna dominate,
I'm sure
though.
you have a bunch of people that I've never heard me talk before. I've never thought about that right until now. Because you probably have a way different, way bigger podcast audience than I have.
Oh, that's sweet, but I don't think so.
You might. I mean, Smodcast, we may beat you just because we've been around for 11 years. So, like, the subscriptions just build up over the years. That's a fucking juggernaut. But you're fucking famous. Like, there was an article recently in Hollywood Reporter about, like, podcasts hosted by famous fuckers. And you were one of them. I was another one, but you were one of them. And shit. So I those who listening to me right now,
Kevin gave me a compliment.
a huge compliment. I've got Smodcast. I do Hollywood Babylon, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, Edumacation, Fat Man on Batman. Those are the five that I'm
I
currently
love
doing.
it when our guests
come be on
are able
Smodcast.
to plug themselves because that way
I
we don't
began
have
the
to do
podcast
it.
talking about plugging myself with a fleshlight. So at the end of the day, feels makes sense to come full circle. But you are more than invited to come to my house and be on my podcast. And let me tell you, when you tell a story, I'll appreciate it. I won't criticize you for it at the end of the show. I won't make you feel bad for talking about the life, the moment where you almost died.
to let me tell a story.
I'm just saying, some
This is what I
cats
predict.
would have heard that story and been like,
Yeah,
I'm just glad he's
saying
alive to tell it.
Some cats
you were like, I
would
can't
let
believe I had to
somebody
sit
else
through the
interject
ramblings
at some
of an
point.
old man who nearly died. Did you hear me ask him about his sister? Because that was important. You would please come to my house.
Wait.
and be on the podcast.
So tell me. So you recently had a heart attack, right?
No, I don't talk about that anymore or publicly. That's private. Can't I have stuff from me on affairs? I don't want to share with the world. Do you really have callers on your podcast?
Yeah, this is an advice show. We give advice.
I know you keep saying that.
You keep
but
talking like you've never heard of this. You keep saying, hey, your podcast, I'm sure it's doing well. You're famous. Our podcast is doing really fucking well.
I was just, you saw me
but it's
telling
not
her
because
that.
she's famous. It's because it's a good fucking show.
Well, of course.
We didn't start
But let's
out
be
with
honest.
a big. We weren't.
Let's
like,
be honest.
We got a nice little
love
boost.
There are a lot of
We got
great
a nice
shows
little
out
boost.
there.
And how many
Good.
celebrities
But
do you
you do
know?
have a
Oh my
signal
God.
boost.
We had a nice
Fist
little boost in the beginning. But how many
enhancing
celebrities that
rays.
you know have that pod fade where they do 10 episodes, they realize that they don't have an audience. They can tell you 10 celebrities off the top of my.
Number one,
Yeah.
I am not attacking you.
Oh, no.
You guys, I believe I started by saying you guys have a massive podcast, but you do have to allow if Shannon or Amber, the two kids who had just auditioned for us in those sketches,
Yes.
started their own advice podcast, even if you were helping them, probably wouldn't be as well received. It helps that you had a signal boost. Now, that gets them in the door. What keeps them in the door is the quality.
Thank you.
So that's where you get the bragging rights and stuff. You guys produce, and you brought up a very important, I know I'm talking too much and Anna's getting like so mad, but this is a compliment. You brought up a very valid point. A lot of people start this thing and then drop it.
Exactly.
Like same way they started diet or some shit.
They think everyone thinks they can have a
My hat is off to
podcast.
both of you, but particularly this one because she got another job. The fact that you do it over and over again, that's huge.
You're bringing it back around.
I know. I knew we had to end on you or else you get all
You can
saucy
unlock
and-
the door, Michael Sherman.
No way. All right, so wait, now I'm
Yeah, do you want to do a
desperate
quick
speak
break,
to
or do you want to?
real
What do you
people.
want to do? Do you want to do a 5-minute break and then get to calls?
What? No.
Or do you want to get right in?
I think we should
What
get
was
right.
so
Let's get right in.
exhausting about that
All
needed
right,
a break,
listen.
Anna Faris?
All right, here we
Sometimes
go.
I have to urinate.
Here's a sheet for you.
Or what's this?
We have
all
two
about?
callers. So here we go, Anna. That's
Oh,
for
we've
you.
got background information on them.
Yeah, we actually vet the callers. I talk to them beforehand, and then we give them relationship advice or
How
advice on anything
smart.
they
that
want.
way, no like randos getting on the phone
Yeah,
and being like,
yeah.
"Hey, Faris."
I'm like, hey.
We're gonna call Catherine first, and Catherine is in Nashville.
I love it that you remember, because I was going to bring that up then.
Oh yeah, you need a headset. She's in Nashville, and she's 25.
Hello?
Hey, Catherine, it's Sim. How are you?
Hey.
Anna, say hi to Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. It's Anna.
Hello.
Hey, I'm here with Kevin Smith.
Hi, Catherine. I'm old director from before you were born, probably. Yes, age 25.
Oh gosh, I'm a huge fan of both of you guys.
Oh, I thank you, Catherine.
Catherine, thanks so much for being a part of this crazy experiment.
So, Catherine, tell us about the situation with one of your husband's best friend, or actually your husband's best friend. What happened?
Yes. Oh god. Okay. This is really overwhelming to talk about. All four of us, meaning me, my husband, his friend, and his wife, we're all really, really close.
Ooh.
Like, we're very, very close.
I could see where this is going.
My husband met his friend, like they've known each other ever since high school, so they're super close. And we just have a history. But anyway, the issue is that one day after work, my friend, or our friend, texted me and he was like, "Hey, would you like to come over for dinner?" And I was like, you know what, sure. I mean, we always hang out with him, so it's perfectly fine. And once I got there, I figured out that his wife, Jessica, was not there. So that was a little, it was not to say alarming, but it was just a little strange to me because we've never hung out just by ourselves. But I didn't think anything of it because we're all super close friends, and like Josh might as well just be a rock. Like, he's just a friend. So I think nothing of it. I texted my husband about it, and he's perfectly fine with it. He's like, yeah, you know, it's just Josh. Like, it doesn't matter. So we end up having some cocktails and have, you know, dinner, and then our conversation takes a turn. Like, we go from them trying to have kids to this whole scandalous, like, sex talk, which is fine because, like, I'm a very open person anyway, and I feel comfortable with my friends, and so having this sort of conversation, it's whatever. But the issue kicks in when he inches a little too close, and then he goes to grab my ass, and that's when things turn bad. I didn't say anything about it. I didn't freak out on him or anything like that, but I have so many questions. So I feel bad because, like, of course I told my husband about it because I never hold anything from him. Like, we tell each other everything. So I had to tell him. I kind of feel like I sold him out a little bit. And I honestly can't get over the guilt. Like, I just feel really bad. And his wife doesn't know.
Why do you feel like when you say sold him out, will you elaborate a little bit on that?
Because he's such a good friend of mine. Like, I just feel like I put on that front of everything's okay while I was there.
Here's my take. Ready? When you got friends, a couple that are you're close friends with, human beings are human beings, man. And sometimes, you know, flirtation happens, not hardcore flirtation and stuff like that, but like you wind up talking about more personal things than you would with a member of the opposite sex or you're not engaged in a relationship with and stuff. That's all fine and good. There's really nothing wrong with that. A guy grabs your ass, that's a completely different category. That is somebody who made a physical move on you. So it's not like, oh, you know, he was saying we were talking sex and it made me uncomfortable. He crossed a line. Like, of course you have every right to feel that way. You did not sell out on him at all. I mean, he shouldn't have done that. It's that simple.
And when you talk about your history in the past, and I don't know if there had been other hints of like, back in the day, being like, "Oh, I've always liked you," on a drunken evening or whatever. And you don't even have to answer that, and I also know that feeling of like, oh, should I have done something more? Should I have like shouted at him, or should I have like reprimanded him? But in the moment when you feel a little bit taken aback, you don't quite know what to do.
Right. And that's an excellent point, because that brings me to my other point. I feel I also have guilt because as his friend, I should have, and all this didn't register until I was able to process it all. So I'll give myself that. But I feel bad because as his friend, I should have been like, pause, think about what you're doing. Like, I'm your friend. I'm your best friend's wife.
What did you do instead?
Said,
what did you do?
I just kind of like brushed it off and acted like everything was okay.
That's what I've done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a natural reaction to a very uncomfortable, like, never mind the fact that he got physical, but just even if he were to put on Front Street, like, hey, I like you and I would like to be physical with you, that's an awkward position to be put in. You weren't looking for it. You weren't asking for it. You weren't dancing around the subject.
Like a couple of times it's happened, that kind of situation has happened to me. I've giggled and I'm embarrassed that I did that.
That's how I felt. I really didn't want to embarrass him. So when he got close to me, I just kind of like, I brushed it off. I didn't want to hurt his pride,
Okay, so my opinion would be, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they're having, and you guys are young, but it sounds like your friends are having some marital issues, and this guy is kind of, he's a predator, and he clearly knew what he was doing by inviting you over alone. And then
the problem I'm having with this is that this was completely premeditated. He invited her over to dinner alone, and he has a wife and his best friend. What did you tell your husband? Like when he asked you why you're going alone, you just thought you're having dinner with the couple?
Yeah, at first I did, yeah. But then I got there and I was like, oh, well, she's not here. That's a little weird. But then, whatever.
And when you actually told him about what happened, what did he say?
Wait, you're talking about the husband?
Husband, her husband.
Yeah.
He was, my husband's already a very, it takes a lot for him to be that sort of aggressive. You're not going to get that out of him. So when I told him, he was very like, oh, okay. And then later it became like, oh, this is a problem. Like, then he really started to show, how he really felt.
It makes it really difficult to hang out again. Trust has been broken.
Okay,
absolutely.
Catherine, not to pull a thread that I shouldn't, do you think that there was ever any drunken talk between your husband and this dude of we should all have a foursome?
No. So I have one last huge question, and this is the thing that's been bothering me the most. So my husband has already spoken to his friend about it. He's already confronted him. So that's already happened. But what's bothering me the most is that all three of us know, minus his wife. No one's had the balls to be like, she needs to know.
Well, how did the friend deal with sort of the confrontation between your husband and him? Was he like, dude, I'm sorry, we had a bit to drink?
He was super apologetic, on the verge of tears, super, super sorry.
So he's trying to get you guys to forget about it. And do you want things to go back to normal? Is that what you want?
Absolutely, because I'm usually not a person who gives the benefit of the doubt. Once you fuck up, that's it. But when it comes to such a close friend and we have such a history, all four of us, I just want to be like, dude, what's happening? Was this just a low point? Tell me, I'm trying to help.
Yeah, that's what every man wants to talk about the mistake that they made. He doesn't ever want to talk about it again, probably. As for whether or not to inform her, I mean, that seems more his decision, right?
I don't know. That would be my instinct, and also like
Except
to
for
avert.
the ass grabby part is what
well,
makes it weird.
I think. Are you really close with her, Catherine?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what's bothering me, because if I were in this situation, I would definitely want to know.
Of course, because eventually something may happen, and she's gonna feel like, fuck you all for having this secret.
Exactly, and that's what I'm so scared of.
So, I think you should ask your husband potentially about this scenario. But I also think that, oh God.
Here's my problem with this. I'm having a major problem with this, because if you guys were in a party or group situation, he was really drunk and then he made a pass at you or whatever, and then
Right.
But this was completely premeditated.
You're right.
He asked you out on a fucking date.
You're right.
You know, so this is different. This is not something you can just sweep under the rug.
So was she at work when you came over and you were like, oh, where's Sarah or whatever? Did he say?
Yeah, I kind of thought that to myself, but I wasn't like straight up like, hey, like, where is she? Like, because I didn't think anything of it, you know?
But let me ask you this. You were in the moment. You had the feelings. Did you get the impression that he had arranged it for you two to be alone for this exact purpose?
I honestly don't think so. And I feel like I'm coming off as like really naive.
No, because please don't beat yourself up anymore, because I have been in similar situations. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like I want to see the best in them. And then it's only when like it's a little too far along where I'm like, oh shit, this dude wants to fuck me. I want you to relieve yourself of your guilt. I don't know.
When you spoke to him on the phone earlier today, Catherine,
He seems like a creep.
Well, you told me that you guys he was like, he actually propositioned sex. You mentioned sex, or you had sex talk. What did he say to you?
You know, like, I feel like if we had met at a club or something, we would have hooked up type thing.
Yeah, see,
this is bad. He's lusting after you, I think, and he's feeling restless. So, I hate to say it, but I think there needs to be a friendship breakup for a minute. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Sim is like, yes.
If I was your husband, this is unacceptable. I want to punch this guy in the face. Is what I want to do.
I agree with you.
Yeah, of course, that's how my husband felt. Yeah.
You have to distance yourself, right? Like, at least for a while. And maybe it's a discussion your husband can have. Like, listen, you know, whatever, dude, there was some weirdness that went on, and we just don't want to hang out for a little bit, and let's see sort of where we go from there. Because I don't think it should be on you necessarily. But I am sorry. It always sucks when friendships, when there's a friendship breakup.
That's so helpful to hear, though, because like just that you said that it shouldn't be all on me. Like, I didn't even think about that, because like all of this I think is weighing completely on me. And I feel like I'm the only one who is making any decisions or still feels like this is very unfinished.
Well, yeah, and I hate it that you're feeling guilty. And I know that feeling of uneasiness when it's like, oh, okay, wait, this isn't exactly what I planned on for this evening. This is a little bit different than I thought, but it's like you power through. But then you start to get that creepy feeling in your gut where it's like, okay, but I want to be a cool girl and like talk about whatever, all kinds of shit, and feel alive and sexy and whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've been there. It's 4. No, but
can you tell us about each of the 4 times?
No, but
can you do them out of order too, from least important to the most offensive?
Well, it's the whole, and you know, it's really common for guys to romanticize their friend's wife or girlfriend. Jesse's girl.
What?
Jesse's girl?
Is that what that song's about? I wish that I was Jesse.
No. I wish that I had Jesse's girl.
Is that what the lyrics are?
Yes.
Makes a lot more sense when I sing it like that. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. I thought it was about a guy who loves his bestie so much he wishes he was his bestie's girlfriend. I wish that I was Jesse's girl. He's just so fun.
You're the one who should know this shit, man. Like
Why?
this is like
I didn't make
Catholicism
Boogie Nights.
is like based in like
Catholicism is based on Jesse's girl?
Yes.
I've on a
It's
Faris. I've been
it's
in
chicken
church
or
for a
egg.
long time. I never heard him say Rick Springfield once.
You know, come on, don't covet like thy neighbor's wife, man.
Somewhere in there. Don't talk to strangers. I believe that was both a Rick Springfield song and one of the commandments. If I remember my Catholicism.
All right, we have to give her final advice.
Oh, I think that you should have a long conversation with your husband about this. Tell him that that you feel like you've been shouldering some of this guilt, and truly, I recommend. I know you're going to miss them for a minute and see what happens, but they're clearly having marital trouble, and this guy is a predator and doesn't have your husband's best interests in mind, and so they're going to go through their shit. And I'm sorry, but I think open communication with your husband is the best policy. But I have to tell you though that a lot of our listeners, I'm sure, have gone through something very similar, because a lot of women go through this very same issue. And so I'm sure we'll get a lot of feedback, and please keep in touch. And I love you and thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you for being so honest and vulnerable. I so appreciate it, and I love you.
Love you too, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
That happens.
It happens a lot, right?
It happens to everybody.
I've never been hit on in my entire life.
What do you mean never
I've
been hit
never
on?
been hit on. I
What
don't
about
know
after,
what that.
after you were famous?
Never. Think
After
about
you
me.
were
Because I'm not famous
but-
where people are like, I want to fuck his brains out. They're like, oh, I want to smoke
What are you
weed with
talking
him.
about?
You don't know, but it's because
I promise you.
No.
I've lived my life for 48 years. I can tell you right here and now, I've never been hit on in my entire life.
I have to tell you. I'll tell you how you get hit on.
I don't need to. I don't want. I'm just telling. I'm making an observation. I'm not saying let's
listen.
rectify this. Unless you're
So wait,
hitting
you're-
on me
so
on
you're
it,
at a
Faris, in
bar.
which case I'm like, I mentioned my wife.
You're
a
at a
number of
bar
times.
and
Yes.
a girl comes up to you.
I never go to a bar,
Okay.
so girls, there's no chance for.
All right.
women
So
to
you're at the
fuck.
gym.
Come on.
You're in the
Chances
ER.
are I'd be at a bar before a gym.
You're in the ER.
Yes. Dr. Leidenheim is telling me that I have a 20% chance to live. Shall I tell you that story one more time? Let's do this. I've been hiking Runyon lately. I'm
Okay, all right,
hiking
all right,
Runyon
all
with
right.
my wiener dog.
Yeah.
Got my wiener out.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking past looking at
Sure.
me and stuff.
Oh, what a cute dog.
I'm sorry. I'm going up the hill. I can't talk. There you go. I got headphones on.
So you're a
Listen to music.
dick.
Not a dick. I'm a fat man trying to get up a 3-mile hill. You think I'm going to stop and talk about my dog? Like, if you want to walk with me up the hill and admire the dog, feel free. But hey,
Okay.
man, I'm trying to accomplish shit here. This ain't the mall.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, oh my God, I love your dog. It's
Thank
so
you.
cute.
Isn't she
What's
cute?
his name?
Shecky, I'm sorry. If you want to keep talking, walk with me.
Yeah, I do.
gotta
Okay,
I'm
wait,
keeping my
can
heart
I tell
rate
you?
up.
I don't want to make a thing.
Go ahead.
But I know you're Kevin.
Oh fuck! So
and
then
I'm
I also had a
huge-
heart attack recently, so it's
yeah,
very important
oh my
that
God,
I keep
and
up with
you're
pace.
so brave.
I know, but you're breaking
You
my
were
pace right
so
now. Thank
brave.
you. You're so
no,
sweet.
No, but
Do
I
you
can
want to
totally
take a
keep
picture
up.
together?
Yeah, no. I
No?
just no.
Okay, but I
I
gotta
just
vote.
want your
I
advice.
gotta- oh.
I just want your advice.
All right,
so
keep
I'm
walking
trying to
with me.
break into the business.
Yes. Me
I don't
too.
want to be an actress.
Yeah, me neither.
No, but I do want to direct, and I've written a couple of scripts.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, like,
Walk faster,
okay,
please.
so yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to do this like sort of comedy on Mars.
Oh my God! I've been fucking Mars is ripe for comedy.
Right? Well, ripe and red. And anyway, so what it's like a rom-com
Mm-hmm.
and oh my God, are you okay?
No, I had a heart attack 7 months ago. I'm getting up this hill is like, I know it's easy for you because look at you talking a mile a minute
I know.
as we go up an
I know,
incline. But
I know.
I'm just
It's 'cause I'm
listening
on a lot
to
of
you
coke.
is exhausting. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't do that because of the heart attack, which I've previously
I'm
mentioned
sorry,
3 times. Can I tell you a
God.
story about the
Yeah,
time I almost
of
died?
course.
Let me do it on the way down the hill because this is really hard.
Your dog is so cute.
Thank you.
What's
She's
its name again?
Shecky. It's a girl.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's
She's
so
12.
funny. It's funny that you like named a girl dog like
No.
a boy name.
My wife did it. I mentioned my
That's
wife
really
already,
funny.
didn't I?
Oh my God, that's
Here
so
she
cool.
comes.
You're married.
She's right behind me.
Oh,
Honey, this is the lady
okay.
who doesn't understand
Okay,
no
I'm
means
just
no.
gonna throw this rock down here. Oh, whoopsie.
Just,
Do you like
You know what?
snow
We're going to
cones?
stop here at the bench and take a little breather. I do like snow cones.
Okay,
very
because
much.
that's what like my character's job on Mars was going to be a snow cone because it's so hot
Snow
or whatever.
conery.
So it's like she opens up a chain of snow cone restaurants because
true.
she's an entrepreneur.
I like that. That's like Total Recall, but not as exciting.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I'm just a huge fan.
Thank you. Me
Huge,
too.
huge fan.
Me too. Good luck with the movie. I can't wait to pay to see it, man.
Okay.
Bye.
Can I get your info though?
And scene. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is
Very
how
nice. There you go.
circumnavigate, quote unquote, getting hit on.
Oh my
Runyon.
God.
Do you ever hike Runyon?
I used to.
Did anyone ever hit on you when you were hiking?
No.
It can't happen, right? It's like,
No,
who does
yeah.
that?
Well, it's a meat market. I mean, Runyon is supposedly a meat market, like a Hollywood meat market.
I think that's what it's
How can you
perceived.
look your absolute fucking worst?
I'm just
Why would
telling you,
wanna
that's
meet
what they
somebody?
say. People are meeting at Runyon.
But how do you be
buy
like,
it.
excuse
It's
me?
a big first date spot.
Is it really?
Or a second date or
well,
a third
would
date.
you want to
I think it's
expose
the
to
worst first
somebody?
date. Yeah, why would you want
Yeah.
to sweat on the first date?
Look at
Yeah.
me. Look at how
Totally.
gravity is my
Right.
enemy. Fuck
I
that.
just don't. And how do you initiate a conversation? Like, hey, you passed me earlier. Look, I caught up to you. Like, what the fuck do you say?
Or even if you go there on a date, aren't you like, boy, this is hard? Yeah.
Like,
this is hard.
oh, can I borrow a dog waste bag? Like,
They have
I
them on
forgot
the
to.
canyon. That's a good opener, though.
Great opener. by the way.
Thanks.
Because but my next
I
thing
love,
would be
it
like,
that you're like, yeah, they got
I got
him
him
up there.
right there. I'm sorry, man. I can't stop.
yeah,
I
you're-
have to
yeah,
keep
you're a
going,
dick.
or else I won't make it.
Yeah. I just had a heart attack
dick.
too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Then walk with me. We'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, it was really
How was yours?
traumatic.
Did you have
Oh
a
well, it
stent?
was traumatic. It was weird because it like didn't hurt.
No, mine didn't either.
That's weird.
We have so much in common. You know, fuck what I said before. Let's stop and sit and talk.
All right, we have one more call, guys. We're going to call Allie. And Allie, where is she?
Allie's got an
we're
issue.
She's in New York.
Are we jerks or am I? I'm a jerk.
For what happened now?
I don't know. Are you gonna drive back and feel like, oh, that Anna Faris is a fucking jerk?
What do you need advice now?
Yeah. I need
Well,
reassurance.
let me think about this, Anna Ferris.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Allie.
Allie, how are you? I'm
Allie,
sorry,
Sim,
Ollie.
Kevin
Ollie,
Smith is here.
This is Anna. There's no Anna, and you're not Allie, so this is Ollie.
Hi. And guess what? Kevin Smith is here and he's dominating, and I'm sorry about that.
Allie, I'm not dominating at all, but I will tell you, I'm a filmmaker from a long time ago. You probably don't know who I am, but I'm a big fan of the
I do.
Anna Ferris podcast. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I actually know who you are. My brother introduced me way too early, so thanks for corrupting my childhood.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Allie.
What was the movie, by the way? What was the movie that you saw? Was it Clerks?
Please don't say Paul Blart. You'll break my heart.
It was Mallrats,
Mallrats.
and
Okay,
Clerks.
fair enough. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Look at that. Old school. Well done.
I
Most
love
people
him.
confused me with Kevin James, so that made me very happy. Thank you.
No.
All right, Allie, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. This has been hanging over me for some time now. I've been with my boyfriend for about 4 years. We're both songwriters. He's more established than I am. He's signed to Warner Music. He's been in the game longer, and he has songs with radio artists. I've had success with upcoming artists and commercials, but I'm not at his level. We live together, and we also work together. He's definitely the breadwinner, and I have a part-time job still trying to pay the bills. We communicate about things, but I struggle with guilt letting him pay, and he tries to assure me that my situation is just temporary. I also find it hard not to be jealous of him when he gets to go on trips or he's booked on things without me, and I definitely get FOMO when things are involved with our friends because we work in a small network. Also, occasionally I notice some people being uber friendly with me to find a way to get in, and sometimes people are pretty blatant about it. But anyway, my question is, how do I combat this guilt and jealousy and the paranoia that people are using me?
Oh boy, because the thing is that, especially in the creative world, because we invest so much passion and love into what we do, that it will never be a 50-50 if you're with another creative person. It will always be in flux. And I feel like I've seen a lot of relationships. I've been a part of relationships where it's constantly fluctuated. It's just impossible to have an even playing field with two creative types.
And these are two cats that are in the exact same field as well.
Yeah.
So it's not even like, oh, I do movies and I do songs or whatever. It's like we're both in the same field.
Does he? And it sounds like he's really supportive. Does he have any resentment? Does any resentment on his end manifest itself, or is he just adoring and supportive?
He's super supportive, like to the point where he wants to like buy me software to like help me even develop myself as a songwriter and producer. So it's great.
He sounds amazing, and you sound amazing. Have you expressed to him like your feelings of like, I want to feel like my accomplishments are as valid as yours? Have you expressed that to him?
I do. I find it hard to, but I definitely have. He kind of like sees it in my face. He's like, "What's wrong?" And I then am prompted to go. But it's definitely like a constant battle in myself.
Do you guys play music in front of each other, just alone?
Yeah. We play together all the time, and like we'll play stuff that we're working on separately and then kind of give each other notes.
Allie, does he have you by a few years, or is he the same age as you?
So I'm actually older. Yeah.
I love it that you guys play music for each other.
I love that he's paying for stuff. That's a clear sign that he cares. It sounds like he's not making you feel anything other than accepted and encouraged, but all of this is kind of coming from inside. And that's, I don't, that's your issue. That's only going to go away when you feel you've landed something that you're like, right on. It's nothing he can do. It's nothing he's doing too. It sounds like he's doing all the right things by being encouraging and supportive. But
Allie, sorry, Kevin, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, cut me off. It's your
I'm
show.
trying to be supportive to you as well.
Thank you. I was going to ask you advice on that. Like, what should I say?
But Allie, when you talked about that you guys give each other notes, have you noticed a change in his personality?
Not so much, but he does kind of interject on things sometimes. And sometimes, like, part of me is like, no, this is mine. And other times I'm like, yeah, like, what are your notes? Like, let's help me with this. So it's kind of like a mix.
Yeah. But I understand how, because he feels like his confidence is growing, and that's wonderful. But sometimes that can translate as well. It's like he feels maybe like he can be advising a little more than you want in your creative process.
Hold on, but she didn't bring that up at all. That sounds like you're creating an issue that wasn't there.
No. They play privately in front of each other.
But that wasn't her issue.
They give each other notes.
Yeah, but that's not it.
Listen,
this is her. She's upset that she's not where he is, and she's
go
tired
back
of being
on your own
jealous.
fucking podcast.
I just read I will, but I'll read the notes that they handed me on the caller, and the whole story is there.
Yeah.
So it's written in. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just think
All
you're
right,
advising her on something she didn't
you.
ask. Fair enough. If you have a process by which you roundaboutly get to the answer, I will sit here and listen.
Thank you. Listen, I know this shit.
I know. No, you're
Sort of.
unqualified.
I don't.
But you know it. Yeah.
I don't really, but I
Go
do.
on and take it away.
But I do know that when somebody is experiencing more success, they suddenly feel a sense of like sort of sexy tutelage sometimes. And that, and that he could be like, oh yeah, babe, that sounds really good. You have a beautiful voice. I love that lyric. I think you should tweak that one thing though. But it's like, well, no, but this is mine. And I just want you to listen. Because especially when a young person or any person feels a sense of sudden success or that head rush, there's that feeling of like, I know it all. And it shouldn't sort of disrupt her creative journey, which may be very different. And so I think that maybe it's worth a conversation of like, I'm so happy and proud of you and I love what you do. On occasion, whatever, maybe it hurts my feelings. I don't know if you feel this way, Allie. Kevin thinks that I'm projecting.
No, I'll just read exactly what she said.
Yeah.
I actually agree though. Yeah.
Oh my God, Kevin.
She's famous. Of course she's going to say, I agree with Anna. But this was a situation she did not call about. She's not
Kevin
going
is
to
like,
say.
but it's not on the paper.
So basically,
Yes.
Anna, you
I
just
mean-
dug a few layers. Let's find out. Okay.
You did.
I just know.
right.
I know. I'm so familiar with
All right,
this.
Allie. So Anna is right and Kevin's wrong. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not wrong. I'm reading what she wrote on the
were
paper.
wrong.
She said, hold on. Let me just read exactly what is written here. He is my long-term boyfriend and I are both successful creatives who work together often, both successful. He is more established than I am, and he is established and is emotionally and financially
my God.
supportive of me. How do I get over the guilt I feel when he pays for things? And you're like, well,
Allie.
maybe he should stop criticizing you. And I didn't hear anything in there about criticism.
Yeah, because here's the thing, though.
Don't project, Anna. Don't project.
Yes. Oh.
Answer,
No, no, no.
answer, if you will. Anna, answer the question. Don't project.
Because I know this. I feel like I know it. Allie, correct me if I'm
Allie,
wrong.
is she right?
It's definitely a layer for sure.
Sure.
It's like he
breathing's a
interjects
layer.
himself in things too.
Can I ask this though, Allie? Was he doing his thing prior to you guys meeting or hooking up? Was he always a songwriter, or was he? When you say he was established, was that pre your relationship even?
Yes, we kind of started. He has been in it for I went to college and he didn't go to college. He was in a band. So he's been in it since high school. And I've kind of recently, within the last 5-6 years is when I really started to pursue songwriting as a full-time thing.
So, I mean, but to be fair though, you've heard the Malcolm Gladwell, what is it, 10,000 hours of practice, blah, blah, blah. He's been technically practicing for 10,000 hours more than you. I went through a similar situation like this, not with somebody I was in a relationship with, but my producer, who I do my podcast with, Smodcast, Scott Mosier. At one point when we started our career, he was it took him years to figure it out, why we went with Clerks instead of the script that he had written. And he finally realized, he was like, you had just been writing for so long, you had more practice. Not like you were better than me. He's going, if I put in more time, I would be where you were. But at the time we started, you had put in so much practice writing all different types of things so that when you sat down to write a screenplay, boom, you were ready to go. This guy's just put in about 10,000 hours of practice. So, he's getting what feels like all the breaks or he's established and whatnot. You just got to give yourself time. The only thing that's going to bring you to a place where you feel confident, where you're like, okay, I'm shoulder to shoulder, is when you've put in that much time and you also get a break or two or whatnot. But it sounds like he is doing, based on what I've read on the page, I don't live your life, but it sounds like he's being supportive and trying to get you there. And he's not being stay out of my world. He's not like Ricky Ricardo in I Love Lucy, where he's like, you can't come to the club, Allie. He wants you to come to the club, but he has been doing it for a minute longer. So you got to be a little patient. As for the other problems that Anna's creating, I'll let her take that.
Fuck you, Kevin. Fuck you.
Thank you.
I think you have a good point though. Go.
Well, it's always the thing with being in a relationship with another creative type. There'll be times when you're more successful or he's more successful. I do think it's interesting that you brought up the college element. I wonder if that tugs on him in terms of his whatever. But I don't want to. Listen, Kevin is like, don't go there.
Go ahead, pull that thread and unravel the sweater from the other end. This poor girl's like, I had one minor issue. I'm going to get off the phone and I'm realizing I got a lot of shit to deal with.
No, but I think can just continue, pursuing your passion and your dream, and don't feel discouraged when somebody else's success feels like it's that it's right there.
It's okay to be jealous. It happens. If you're a creative, I swear to you, I don't care who you are, man.
Just
how
fuck
good
up
you
his
are.
guitar strings.
Well, don't take jealousy physical, but you cannot tamp down on a dopey human emotion like jealousy. Sometimes you read about some other person doing well in this business. You're like, what? Why that person? Why not me? That will be a part of the fabric of your life forever. You can't fight that.
Yes.
You learn to live with it. It's like having,
so
I don't have
true.
herpes, but I imagine it's like having herpes. You just learn to live with it.
That's are you sure you don't have herpes?
I'll check in a minute if I can use your bathroom. I'll see if there's a flare.
I will say that
Sounds
is
good.
one of the few blessings, I guess, of getting older, is that you're too tired, or maybe your brain is too numb to have as much jealousy as that.
Also helps to get someplace. It's easy to say that from the sky high dressing room of your TV show.
Yeah, but
which I'm not putting down. I think that's awesome.
The only
That's why
award I've won is my Stony Award, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, but you didn't get into this for awards.
I didn't?
No.
Are you sure?
Positive. We had a conversation about it on that Australian guy show.
You remember?
Of course. I remember everything about our first meeting.
Wow, that's creep. Well,
I kept my eyes right on you and you looked away.
I know. Well,
I know.
Gosh. But
I want to take back what you said before, that I was not domineering. What were you saying? He's dominating. I am not dominating at all. I just feel silences.
You are totally dominating.
I feel silences. You start a sentence
feel silences.
with 14 half sentences.
I just
You're
try not to interrupt you, but now I learned. Now I have to interrupt you.
So
I am now
see
interrupting
a hole that I
you.
could drive a truck
Fuck
through.
you, Kevin.
I have to put it
and
in
that's
the gear.
all look. I don't even know. Oh. Allie, I'm sorry.
Allie, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
And I hope that please keep in touch. And I'm glad that it sounds like you have a really loving
He sounds awesome. He sounds like a great guy.
Yes, he does. He absolutely sounds amazing. Pat on the back for this guy Allie's
Don't
with.
feel guilty. Just, but do please continue to live your vision and don't let like any critique like infiltrate. At least not yet.
That was not a threat, but it's excellent advice. She wasn't but worried about that, but Anna's absolutely right.
No, because when somebody gets an ego in their head like that, it's very easy to be like, oh, you should have used the word pond instead of swamp or whatever. You know what I'm saying.
I feel you. Look,
It
Allie,
totally
I'm gonna put you on front. I'm gonna put it on Front Street, Allie. This is this simple. Ready? I've seen the future. I'm not a prognosticator, and I don't speak to having any sort of inside spirituality, but I know what things that I know. You're going to do very well. And one day, this is not going to matter to you in the least, and you will giggle over the fact. In fact, you guys will go back and listen to this podcast.
Hey, Allie, thank you so much.
Allie.
Please, let's keep in touch. And I love you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
She's sitting there going, wait, should I leave my wonderful boyfriend? I don't get it. Anna Faris, what are you telling me to do? I just called because I have a hangnail.
Have you ever dated somebody more successful than you?
No, but here, that's why I backed off. I backed off in the combo because when my brain slowly made the connection, it was after I told the story about me and my producer, and I was sitting next to somebody. I was like, I bet you she could speak to this.
You have been you're incredibly quick, clearly brilliant.
Oh my God,
very
how
slow.
Sweet are you? Yeah, slow when it comes to that kind of shit.
It's wild.
My wife has pointed out for 19 years of marriage, 20 years that we've been having sex, that our relationship works as well as it does because she's what she calls a normie. She's like, you never would have been married as long as we've been married if you married somebody else in the business. She's like, it's impossible for two creatives to be in a relationship. That's her perspective.
Can I ask you something? Are you one of those types, as we wrap it up here,
Yes.
are you one of those types that's like,
Oh, we have to wrap it up because you have a show to go to?
honey, see, you can't even focus on my fucking question.
Can't. I'm thinking about there's a whole fucking TV show that happens right under us. And you guys act like it's fucking normal. Like there's TV happens below us. What happens below us will go out on a network, on one of the most watched networks. And you're just acting like, oh, we're podcasters. Fuck you, you're a TV star. And you have to go back to work. That's why the show's ending. Say it. So anyway, ask your question.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait till you're on my podcast.
Yeah, me neither. I'm gonna
I'm gonna let you run shit. I'm gonna let you run shit.
Yeah, you better.
We're gonna take
I'm
calls.
the fucking guest.
It's
then,
gonna be
bitch.
amazing. I've never taken calls, but I'm gonna start doing
fuck you.
that. Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah. Okay. Are you the kind of person you're walking down the stairs, right?
Yes.
And,
these stairs when I get booted out of here in like 2 minutes. Yes.
You ask. You need scissors. Are you like, babe? Where's the scissors? Are you a babe? Where's the scissors kind of guy?
I would never say babe.
Okay.
I would never say here. All right.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna give you this.
I can totally peg you.
I know. I don't say babe. I can't. My wife would slap me in the face.
You're just
Jen.
like, where's the scissors?
Jennifer. No.
Jen, where's the scissors?
I won't do that because I'm used to being fairly self-reliant, independent. Remember, started my career by
I don't even
myself.
know why you probably don't even need scissors because it's not like you're wrapping a fucking present. Because
I
Jen does that for you.
No, she doesn't. But I have fantastic incisors,
you're not-
so I can cut things with my own teeth.
Okay.
However, I will say this: I will be in my office. Jen will come down and see me. We cohabitate on the same floor. Our bedroom's on one end, my office is on the other.
So it's Jen, where's the carrot sticks?
Yeah, always. Of course. I'm always asking, where are them carrot sticks? Anybody? Throw them over here. Whip them here.
I need the Hamas.
My maw is wide open. Pitch me a carrot stick.
All right. Good night,
Kevin,
everyone.
Thank you
This
for
was a
being
blast.
here.
I hope you
Thanks
guys
so
enjoyed
much.
it. I'll come back in a heartbeat.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, there's no proper ending.
Heartbeat.
Heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
I'm glad you.
Oh, because I almost had a heart attack. I used to say that all the time. Sorry.
You know, just
I'm so used to saying
bringing it back in a morbid way.
that. I do. I'm like, can we talk? I don't know if you guys know this, but I had a heart attack. Do you have any time to talk about
Are
it?
you serious? That's fucking crazy.
Are we? I don't want to put the mic down until I know we're done. All right, you put your. While you guys go back to work, nobody's here. I'm just going to fill in the details that Anna like rolled right over.
She's a